Hello, everyone. I am Brittany Blair, and today I'm going to be discussing my sex and gender research paper. So, to get started, I'm just going to give you just a few questions and kind of give you a little intro before we get started. Have you ever felt like you were unable to explain your feelings or ideas in a specific situation? Have you ever felt isolated from a certain person, race, or culture and you had to accommodate only their language or lifestyle? If you answered yes to any of these questions, you have experienced being part of a muted group. This presentation will define muted groups and augment your knowledge of the history and concepts of muted group theory and explore how it affects our society. So today I'm just going to give you a brief overview of some of the information that I have found. So once again, my topic is muted group theory. So for a little bit of history, the term muted group was first described in 1975 by a couple named Shirley and Edwin Ardner. Edwin is right over here. Whoops, right over here. In Shirley's book Perceiving Women, Edwin discusses his findings and observations based on the muted group. Through Edwin's observations, he described how women became known as a central element of a muted group. Later, the muted group theory was created. It was explored and defined by Charis Cramaray. She perfected this theory for over 35 years, and she is right here. Here's her picture of her. So what is muted group theory? Muted group theory explains the cause of muteness by a certain population, especially that of women in our society. The theory upholds a gender perspective where the male is the dominant class. One concept of this theory is that the non-dominant culture is pushed aside or muted by the dominant culture. Many of us can agree about the struggles women have currently in our society. This theory points out the power struggle that our society puts on certain cultures. Muted groups that are specifically discussed in sociology classes are women, people with disabilities, and for the sake of sex and gender class, gay, lesbian, transgender, anything along those lines. Also, in Ardner's seminal piece, he discusses how some other muted groups are minorities, children, and even criminals. So today I'm just going to give you a pretty brief overview of some of the concept. There is a lot to this theory, but I'm kind of just breaking it down for all of you to simply understand. So an important thing to remember is that a muted group does not necessarily mean it is completely silent. Although this can be true, it is often meant that they are suppressed, overlooked, or alienated. They are pushed aside or left in the dark, if you will. The next concept to understand is that it is based off of the observations between dominant and non-dominant cultures, which you kind of could figure that out from the beginning. In terms of sex and gender, the old white male is considered the dominant group in our society. Another key concept of muted group theory is language. An example of this would be the different ways certain groups communicate with each other, and this idea also falls into the topic of subcultures. Women, as well as many of the other muted groups, group together to create their own culture where they can feel a sense of belonging. Women can communicate in a way that is accepted and understood between the members in the group, so many of the communications, it's easier to group with someone that has the same characteristics, communication skills, anything along those lines that make a group feel, or make an individual feel like they belong. Another concept that is discussed in muted group theory are stereotypes. Many of you have mentioned stereotypes in a lot of your discussions, which I have as well. This semester, stereotypes have been a big topic to discuss because there are so many expectations for all of us, whether it's our race, our gender, our sex lives, whatever the case may be. Stereotypes also can be described as sex roles. And there are many assumptions that are created about each gender. For example, take colors. When men and women are born, girls should wear pink and boys should wear blue. We also call these colors feminine or masculine. Women are raised to be good wives, to cook and clean and bear children. Men are raised to be strong, non-emotional, and are taught to be providers for their family. If any of these expectations are broken, tension and judgments occur, and this is where the muted group theory comes in. They're kind of, if you do not fit into the gender norms you will be kind of isolated or alienated or looked different upon for being different or being against your gender norm. So in conclusion, mutagroup theory is an interpretive theory that is trying to change and reform society. And interpretive theory is a theory that is based off of experience and observation, so personal experiences, rather than like scientific mathematical issues. Sociology and mutagroup theory believe and aim for equality. No person, race, gender, or culture is better than the other. Standing together, embracing everyone's diversity will make better for everyone. The main purpose of this theory is to educate. Everyone should be educated and aware of the stereotypes and muteness of different cultures and subcultures, and everyone should be considered equal. The main goal of mutagroup theory is to educate the non-silenced and let the muted groups be heard. So I have a few questions for you guys. So have you ever experienced mutagroup theory in your life? The second question. What could you do to prevent this theory from happening in your life and others around you, especially the women in your life, your mothers, your sisters, your aunts, whatever the case may be? And can you think of any examples in the media that relate this idea of mutagroup theory and how it affects society? So I would love to hear any of the answers you have for me. So thank you so much for your attention, and everyone have a great day.